Hello and welcome along to episode 7 of Ninqueso Live, and I am joined by Miss Brie. That was really disappointing, wasn't it?
That was a bit of an anticlimax. Thanks, Betty.
Do you want me to do something better?
Come on, try again. Give it one more go. 3, 2, 1. You are go.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! And that person is Miss Brie.
Thank you very much. Elvis is in the building.
You're not Elvis. Stop saying you're Elvis.
Yeah,
How are you this week, Elvis?
Do you know what? I'm quite brassed off.
Why are you brassed off? Is this to do with like lack of Xbox gaming time?
Well, the relationship's under strain. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, well.
So here's the thing. Be careful what you wish for. You kind of say, do you know what? I need a boyf that shares my insanity in lots of ways. They need to enjoy gaming as much as I do. And then it happens and you can't get on your damn Xbox.
Well, you see, this is why I'd never dated gamers, apart from one.
This is the sitch. I mean, it's bad times. That's all I can say.
You need a co-op game.
The Witcher 3. Yeah, that's right. That's what we got. That's where it's got to go. To be honest, we're going to have to get some kind of. Well, given the way that we're quite competitive with each other. It's going to have to be some kind of battle royale where I can trash his ass.
You'll make him cry.
Yeah, I think you would. But yeah, I'm struggling to get on my Xbox this week. What can I say about that? Except Gen X has got to happen ASAP. I think there's a waiting list, so I better get on that tomorrow.
Well, you can't. We'll let you know when you can, though.
6 days.
But
how are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm tired.
Oh,
I was up early.
Have you got a crown yet?
No, I've not got a crown. And what was really disappointing was there was a cat costume that came up that required me to purchase it with 5 crowns.
Got it.
So I had like 48 hours to try and win 5 crowns. And obviously I've never even won a crown. So it was a bit of a long shot and I didn't succeed.
Because you're rubbish.
I'm not rubbish.
Yes, you are.
I am above average.
Barely.
I was streaming it today, and like one of the guys that was watching me, he sort of goes, "Oh, I've just won a crown. It's your turn now." And I was like, "Oh, cool. How many crowns have you got?" About 2 minutes later, 122. I was like,
"Oh crap!
Awesome! You're better than me."
Yeah, everybody is because you're rubbish.
I'm not rubbish. Yeah, but it's been quite a sedate week for me.
Sedate week.
Been playing a lot of Fall Guys, streaming it. Got into the Facebook Level Up program now, so I'm like a real streamer now.
You've got little followers, haven't you?
I have. I've got people that always come and watch me, and it's crazy. And I've been getting lots of views on my streams, like over 400.
I need followers. That's what I need.
And now I just need to try and milk them into coming over to watch this. But it says we've got a couple of people watching. Hello to whoever's watching.
Hello. Probably our family.
No, it's real people.
No, it's not our family. It's real people.
It's real people. I don't have a family. It can't be my family.
So we have got quite a bit of news to cover this week.
There is. There's nothing massively major. So shall we start with that news that is of the quick variety?
Let's go quick.
One day we will have a jingle for this and it will be amazing.
Actually, if there is a family member watching, you know what you have to do.
So, quick news. The Xbox pre-orders go live in the UK at 8 a.m. on the 22nd of September.
I'm there.
So that's $249 for the Xbox Series S and $449 for the Xbox Series X.
Do we know what that is in pounds?
That is pounds.
That is pounds.
Yeah,
that's right. It was $499.
£249 for the Xbox Series S and $449 for the X.
Notice how I don't care how much this S is. It's because I'm getting the Gen X.
No More Heroes 3 has been delayed until 2021, obviously due to the whole situation that we're having this year.
It's a bit of a crap year.
It has. EA Play is coming to Xbox Game Pass at no extra cost.
No extra cost.
No extra cost. If you've got Game Pass, which I have, EA Play is now there.
Win.
Borderlands 3 is coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. Get this.
Free.
with a free next-gen upgrade.
Winning.
And Sony announces the PS5 event, which will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. UK time.
UK time.
So I will try and be back for that and stream it. And slightly more quicker news, which is going to be slightly longer because I love this game. Fall Guys has just released a mid-season update, which went live about 3 o'clock today. So I started to stream it. And basically what they've done is they've done some remixes on the courses. So that now, rather than all the obstacle courses being the same every single time, they've just got little things different. So, like, for an example, like the basic one, like the whirly gig, do you know, one of the big fans?
Oh, yeah.
The fan, one of the fans
on that one
goes
time.
the other way.
Oh!
Just a little thing. And there's one as well where the door dash, where you're jumping through the doors, there's a giant hammer, or the big yeetus as they call it, behind it, which can hit you back.
Oh, man. So you're even more rubbish than usual then?
No, because I got through to the final a couple of times, and I was literally about this close to grabbing the crown on one of the four mountains. It was like, I'm definitely going to lose this, but still no crown. They've also added some... Sorry, go on.
You and Fall Guys are going serious. You should put an announcement on Facebook.
I feel like I feel like I am a full-time Fall Guys streamer now.
I feel like you are too.
I don't quite know how it happens. And I have heard they've made Slime Climb even harder, but I've not played it yet, so I don't know. But they've also added some, like the big yeetus, which is like this giant hammer that can either send you to oblivion or send you miles up the course.
That sounds fun.
Well, excuse me. It did save me in seesaws earlier. I was quite far behind. I thought, I'm going for the big yeetus because it was there. It's not there all the time. So it's just like a big hammer that spins around really quick.
All right.
So I just jumped in front of it. It hit me and I went flying and caught right up. It was great. And they've also added some anti-cheating stuff for people on the PC because they are plagued by people cheating. So now it will detect you if you're cheating and you will get banned.
Oh dear.
So hopefully it's cutting down the number of people cheating. And they are our quick stories for today.
Quick stories. That was quick.
Well, the Fall Guys wasn't quick.
No,
I could
well,
talk about
you and
Fall
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys all day.
So, main news of the week.
The main news of the week. We are going to start with Sony has reportedly cut initial PS5 production by 4 million units. So they had actually announced that they were upping production to 15 million units, which is basically in the period of when it comes out, which is, we don't know yet, but we'll find out tomorrow, in November sometime, probably mid-November, until the end of their financial quarter, which is March. So it's like just that first 4-month period. But they've actually had to cut that down due to issues with the with the onboard chips. They're not getting enough of them, so they're only going to be making 11 million, not 15.
Yeah, I think this is to do with construction because they moved production, didn't they, at the end of last year? So I think this is to do with that.
Yeah, I think it's to do with the whole year as well, isn't it? And I do know as well, it's like when they make, I don't know, but I've heard when they make like the CPUs for anything, they kind of make them and they have to test them to see exactly what the quality of them is, because they never come out exactly the same every single time. So I think one of the other things is they might have overestimated how many would fall into their specs that they need.
Yeah, they have a batch sample technique whereby they pick a certain few and then they categorize them from that. So if they're outside the parameters, then it changes production levels.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to really affect, I don't think, the initial release of the PlayStation 5, but I think it might start to be a bit of an issue the back half of the quarter. So sort of February, March time, it might start to get a little bit more trickier to find one.
I should think they'll want to catch up because
definitely
financial results for next year, their projections need to be very strong given what's happening at the end of this year, to be honest.
Yeah, so don't worry too much. It's only 4 million units. There's still 11 million going to be out there in the world.
Yeah, let's not panic too much, bestie. I'm sure you'll get one eventually.
I don't know. It's low on my list of ones that I want to get, really.
And how long's the list?
To me, the Xbox is ahead of the PlayStation 5 still.
Which one?
Well, obviously I would like the X, but I'm quite poor, so I probably won't be able to get one unless I sell my soul to the devil for a donut and an Xbox.
It was Donut Friday, this, so hold on.
Yeah. So, obviously we're going to find out a lot more about the PlayStation tomorrow.
It's 9 p.m. tomorrow. I think a lot of questions will be answered.
Yeah, obviously we'll get the actual release date. We'll get the price of them. I know they were rumoured to be this is dollars, $450 for the one with the disc drive, and then $400 for the one without a disc drive. So, I mean, that would equate to about £400 and $350.
Yeah. I think it's comparable to Xbox.
Yeah, I don't think
that's where they want to be, in that ballpark.
They don't want to be more than the Xbox, and obviously Sony has got this habit of undercutting the competition, which they've been doing since the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, which is why
that's why Sega no longer makes consoles, because of Sony.
Yeah, exactly. But they all like to have a bit of a monopoly, don't they? That's just the way things
go. They do. Well, they like this thing called money. I'm not sure what that is.
I think it's Moni. I think it's Moni. Moni.
You can buy salad with Moni.
It's like they only build stuff to make money. How dare they?
I know,
they just build stuff for our well-being, clearly.
They should make stuff just for us, not for themselves.
Exactly. It's all about us.
How dare Nintendo make games limited? Sorry, I don't want to get on that topic.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot about the Mario 3D All-Stars, and I've got my own opinions on that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's I think what's the guy that writes Game of Thrones? What's his name?
Oh, forgot.
But I think he summed it up the best when he said
George, is it?
Yeah, it's George something, when he goes,
that's it.
Art is not a democracy.
Well, he's right. He's 100% right on that. If
Nintendo want to release a limited supply thing, they're perfectly allowed to do that.
Yeah, and J.K. Rowling is of a similar opinion, apparently, as of the reception to her new book on Twitter today.
Anyway, we're drifting.
We are.
Back on track. Should we go to Ubisoft?
Forward event announcements.
Yes.
Let's cover that next.
I think first off, the thing that got my attention on this one was the renamed Gods and Monsters, which is now Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Don't mention a highly popular energy drink.
Yes. I have heard that that is one of the reasons why the name changed, but I haven't really looked into it too much.
It is a rumour. Monster issued a cease and desist order for bringing down the value of their brand.
Yes.
So
it will harm their brand if you call this game that. Let's just hope they don't hear about Monster Hunter by Capcom.
Let's not.
And Monsters in My Pocket.
Yeah. At the beginning of this, Ubisoft's CEO actually made a statement. Yves Guillemot, I think that's how you pronounce it, because there's been a little bit of a controversy over diversity, inclusion, racism, and some sexual misconduct over at Ubisoft. So I was quite shocked, actually, that they wheeled out the CEO himself to make a statement. It was only sort of 2 to 3 minutes. And myself, I was kind of fairly underwhelmed by it. But he did acknowledge the issues that there have been some employees whose behaviour has, let's say, fallen short of company values. He called it internal issues and pledged to take significant steps to remove or sanction these employees. And he said they're going to be investing £1 million over the next 5 years in the graduate programme, which is peanuts, frankly. So we'll see what actual change is made from this. There's been a concern over this, but I think we'll have to see how this plays out. He said himself, real change takes time, but, we'll see. Some of their game content had come under fire recently, and we'll see what happens over that as well. So that was just a quick aside, really, because that was what they led with at the beginning, is just to make sure that they had been seen to be doing something
Yeah.
for the ladies and gents out there who are in minorities. And I think that's probably more what this statement is about than anything else. Having not got that out of the way, they announced some fairly good stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, I mean, Immortals Phoenix Rising, it's a rubbish name.
Especially
Gods and Monsters are so much
spell,
better.
can they? Phoenix with an F. What are you talking about?
Who knows? But yeah, it's very Breath of the Wildy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. What is it? Mimicry is some form of flattery. I don't know what the saying is.
Mimicry
is a sincerest form of flattery. Something like that.
Yeah,
But
it is very Breath of the Wild, but I'm excited about it. Quite honestly, I will be buying this. I think this looks great, to be honest.
It's coming out on December 3rd, and it will be on the Switch, the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia. So if anyone still uses Stadia, it's coming out on that. But you have to buy it on Stadia, and you won't own it.
Yeah, you won't own it. So next up, they announced Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Did they? Yeah, I've not got order. Yep, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is a re-release of a game that was out on Xbox Arcade and PlayStation 3. I think it's 10 years old.
And it is, and I honestly am fairly unimpressed with this. I feel a bit like living in the 80s.
I don't get the hype.
I don't get the appeal, but then again, it's funny because I am a comic book girl. I read comic books growing up. That was, my first love, to be honest. And this is obviously from comic book, but it doesn't appeal to me in any way, shape or form. I just do not feel it.
I liked the film. I really did. I thought the film was really, really good. But I've got no nostalgia goggles for this because I've never played it. And I
think that's where this is coming from.
It doesn't look very good. It just looks like a bog standard side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And it's one from 10 years ago. So, like, we've got the new ones, like new Streets of Rage 4, which came out recently. River City Girls came out recently, which is meant to be really good. And it's just like, is it going to be as good as those? Or are people just looking at this as, with, like you say, with their nostalgia goggles on, thinking... they were like in their teens when this came out, and it's like, oh yeah, this is really great. I think it is because this got delisted, so it was impossible to get because it was digital only. So once it went, no one could play this again, and there was all these rumors about why it's not being re-released through licensing issues and whatever. Yeah. But here it is. It's coming out, and it is coming out on. Does it say the date? It doesn't say the date on here. But it's coming out on the Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Stadia, and it will include the bonus Knives Chow and Wallace Wells character add-ons.
Ops.
Yeah, so it's got all the DLC as well. It's the complete edition.
Yeah. So then we moved on to new announcements.
Holiday 2020.
Holiday 2020. We moved on to the new announcements, which there were a couple of those. We had the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake.
Yes.
Which I think will be popular. So what they're saying is there's going to be much improved camera and combat control because it's been rebuilt from the ground up. That's their words.
It's been made in the Assassin's Creed Odyssey engine.
Yeah.
From online, I mean, I've never played the original I've never played these Prince of Persia games. So on the PlayStation 2. But it's like people are saying, well, the scenery, the environments look really, really good. Just the character models are a bit just off.
Yeah.
Which, they do look a little bit weird. But this is like an alpha build, so it's not the finished product yet. So whether that'll pick up. I mean, it's meant to be out January 21st, so they don't have a lot of time to work on it.
Yeah.
Again, this is coming out on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC, so no Switch or Stadia this time.
No. And then next they had my next buy. Obviously my first buy was Phoenix. My next buy is Riders Republic, and this is released on February the 25th. I'm going to be first there in the line. And to me,
SSX tricky.
It is. You're right. This is an SSX reboot. It's actually got more modalities here. Biking, wingsuiting, skiing, and snowboarding. It's an extreme sport, and it's a massive multiplayer.
It's an extreme sport battle royal, basically. It's like 50 opponents. It is.
But what I like about this is it's based on actual GPS data from the US parks. So what you're seeing is real scenery. And I don't know, that sort of like hooks me in. But then when I had a look at the gameplay and sort of the backgrounds and the way, you know, it's all rolled out, I was just so impressed. And the different modalities, you know, that appeals to me. You've got a bit of BMXing, you've got a bit of snowboarding. The wingsuit, that's me.
You should play Steep.
See myself in a wingsuit.
You should play Steep. You should be able to get it quite cheap these days. It's basically like a snowboarding, wingsuit, skiing game. The problem I had with this was the trailer was so long. They just went on and on and on about it. I switched off.
They did make a meal of it. I've got to be honest. The launch, they made a meal of it. I mean, I think this is a fairly sort of like niche game. There's only a certain amount of people that this is going to appeal to, and they were trying to sort of like big it up and get the numbers up. But the thing
is, if it is limited like that, that could be a big problem for it, because if it's like, say, I don't know what the gameplay is, but if you've got that ability to race 50 opponents, as it says at once, if the player base isn't there, is it going to lack? How much is the one-player game on this, or like local multiplayer or anything like that? Is it just the big battle royal style 50 opponents?
I think we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, we don't have to wait too long. February 25th, it apparently will come out on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Google Stadia, and PC.
Woo!
It's a next
everything.
No, not the Switch.
But we don't care about Nintendo.
Yeah,
I don't care about Nintendo.
They were the main stories on there. Oh no, yeah. I mean, we know about Watch Dogs. We'll go on to Watch Dogs because
Watch Dogs made me laugh actually, because when they played the trailer, they've got a cameo by Stormzy. Now, obviously, they were sort of like. One of the developers came on there and they're saying, oh, because we rendered London, we wanted to think about what artist represents London. And my mind was, I live in London. I know London very, very well. So I was like, and then they picked Stormzy. And then they got Stormzy in the studio, sort of like being tracked and rendered while he was rapping. And I was just like, oh, boys, you're trying too hard.
Because that's what makes a game good, having Stormzy in it.
Well,
no offense to Stormzy. I mean, I'm sure he's like a great.
Do you know what? He headlined Glastonbury. He must be, fairly popular.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just like, I don't think there's that much of a crossover between gamers and Stormzy lovers, frankly.
Wow. We'll find out October 29th.
29th, yeah. And then we've got Hyperscape.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. It's I've played it. It's all right. It's just there's no oomph to the weapons. You kind of stand there and just go boom, 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 and you just hitting people so much and they don't die, and it's just like, ugh.
Well, this is what they're releasing. It's a turbo mode for the battle royale, so all the weapons are at maximum.
Oh, really? I thought the turbo mode just kind of meant you run around really quick.
No. This is yeah.
Yeah, it's just like. I don't mind the movement. It's very it's like, unlike most of the games, it's very vertical. There's lots of high jumps and things like that. But it was just, there was no satisfaction to shooting people. It was just like, I just felt weak.
Well, maybe this will cure it. So this is September the 15th. This is out.
I don't think I've deleted it off my Xbox yet. Is that today? Oh, well, I might try it at some point. I doubt it.
Okay. I think that's all that there was really.
Yeah, there was something about Rainbow Six Siege, but I tuned out by then. I mean, that game's been out forever anyway. They're trying to make that game last 10 years. And there was something about Sam Fisher being in some other game as well.
Those were not big announcements. I think we can.
No, it was just those ones. It wasn't too bad. I watched it on my phone. Try not to fall asleep. Right. From
What's next?
What is next? We got
Shocker.
The Xbox news. Now, we know the Xbox One X is going to have a 1 terabyte hard drive, and we know the Xbox One S is going to have that piddly little 512 terabyte hard drive.
Tiny.
So you're going to probably need to buy an external SSD expansion. And someone's leaked a price of it. And they're expecting it to cost $220 for a 1 terabyte SSD.
Holy moly.
Where's the... Yeah, I mean...
All I've got to say about that is no.
Well, the type of SSD that it uses is very expensive anyway. So it's not to be surprised.
No, but I mean, we said this last week. We said, okay, it's all right having a console that's like $250 if then you've got to pay the same again
to
for
get
your
the
expansion.
actual... Yeah.
And that's, it's like, well, what's the point of that?
Well, I think the way like the S will work is, like you say, it's more casual people will buy that. So they won't be buying as many games. And if they've got XPass with it as well, which I think they're really trying to push, then obviously you just download the game that you're playing. And then when you finish, you just uninstall it and download the next one. It's not... If you're not buying the games, it's fine.
It's still a bit of a faff.
Yeah.
I think this is a dissuader.
It's... I mean, this isn't confirmed yet. But
yeah, this is a leak. We should just emphasize that this is a leak.
Obviously, there's the picture that someone put up. The Xbox X Seagate 1 terabyte SSD expansion, $219.99. So it could be photoshopped, I guess.
Possibly, but it wouldn't surprise me. I've got to say that
it really wouldn't.
Wouldn't.
Proprietary hard drives tend to be overpriced as they are. I know, just like SanDisk make a Nintendo Switch themed SSD, micro SD card, sorry, and that is well expensive. It's just like, why would you buy it just because it says Switch on it?
Well, that's why, isn't it?
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, maybe I know you can though use other hard drives to store your games. You can't play the new games off of it, but you can. I think Sony have said you can play PS4 games off of an older hard drive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
expensive.
We'll have to wait and see.
So,
watch this space. If it does turn out to be $220.
Yes, if you bet in an Xbox Series S and you want to play Warzone and some other Red Dead Redemption 2, that you're going to need one of these, which you might as well buy a Series X at that point.
Well, that's right. You may as well. So, shall we move on to Apple?
Yeah, why not?
Apple, my goodness.
Yeah, they're trying to be helpful now. So, Apple has decided that it is going to allow game streaming on iOS, but you're going to have to be able to download every single game on your operating system, like on xCloud. Would have to be able to link. I'm really messing this up, but essentially, the way it would work.
Shall I take this, Bestie?
Go for it, because I'm tired.
So basically what they've done is they've issued new App Store guidelines on last Friday.
That's the one.
And it requires that every game available on the pass requires a standalone app, a downloadable standalone app. Okay? So that is going to cause a problem for Google with Stadia, who declined to comment.
Yep.
And Microsoft, who said they are looking into the issue. So this really comes back to the Epic versus Apple shenanigans, because there are currently 251 games available on the XFast Game Pass, and if functionality and developer relationship is required for every one of those, it really kind of rules it out. Let's be honest. That's what it does. And I think this is a way of circumventing what Epic are saying in their lawsuit. I genuinely think that. Yeah,
it's basically them being like, no, look, you can have it on here, honest. But with them basically going, there's no way you're going to do this. But I can't remember I've searched for this as well, but I can't remember where I read this before. But there's rumours that Apple wants to do a streaming service.
Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. I mean, let's be honest. You know, Apple, they want a bite of every single pie, and if possible, they want every pie to themselves.
You mean they want a bite of that apple?
So they want it all to themselves. So, you know, I mean, the thing about this is, you know, I feel Apple genuinely are pretty dishonest about the way that they've approached this. You know, I've seen the argument they've had in their original lawsuit, and they make out like they're facilitators of all developers, because back in the day everybody had to, you know, pay costs of 50 to 70% to get their product to market, and 30% by comparison isn't much, but you know, they've proven they can make exceptions for Amazon, you know, because they allowed Amazon products to be to circumvent that system. And really the only reason for that was that Amazon are big enough and powerful enough to you know, put pressure on. So, you know, this to me, it just smacks of dishonesty. Yes, you can do this, but we're going to put in so difficult, you know, guidelines that the practicality of it is going to rule it out. It makes it
impossible.
They're playing politics. And to me, I'm unimpressed with this.
Yeah, I know, because xCloud, the beta, is released today. So if you've got an Android phone, you can download GameCloud and off you go, streaming games. Because Sony, sorry, not Sony. Sony don't do Game Pass. But Xbox posted a tweet up today, and they had like a little video. It's like, pause this video to find out where you'll be playing your first Game Pass game. And I just commented on it saying, well, I won't be playing it anyway. I've got an iPhone. with a little crying face.
Little crying face, tears streaming down.
I can't even play it because I've got Game Pass Ultimate, so I can play xCloud, but I've got nothing I can play it on.
No,
which is rubbish.
Yeah, I think this story has got a little bit of twists and turns to.
Yeah, I think this will evolve in the future. Things will happen.
It will. Let's just say it will run and run.
There'll be twists and turns, surprise plot lines.
Yeah, and to be honest, you know,
Granny will jump out of a cupboard with an axe and cut Apple's head off.
I think a lot of different companies are going to get dragged into this because we've already got Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon. We're all getting dragged into this.
Yeah.
It could be a complete changing of the space. It could be. It could be the beginning of a sea change for the way games are delivered and the breakup of the Apple monopoly. But we'll wait and see. Well, Google monopoly also. We'll wait and see, I guess.
Just, that's it. Time will tell on this one.
Update here. Next time something comes up, we'll be the first to tell you.
If we want to. It might be in the quick news.
Not if you're tired.
Exactly, like today. So, let's move on about Control. Now, Control put out this statement not too long ago saying it was absolutely impossible for them to provide an upgrade to your PS4, Xbox One Control game unless you bought the Ultimate Edition, and then you could have access to the PS5 and Xbox Series X games, like all the graphical assets. I mean, CD Projekt Red are like, they're updating The Witcher 3, which is a 5-year-old game. I mean, in the quick news, Borderlands is being updated, but Control were like 505 games were like, it's impossible for us to do it.
Yeah, what I got to say about this is unable or unwilling, guys. Which one is it?
Well,
because I know
the
what
story
my
gets
opinion
better.
is.
The story gets better. They accidentally updated PS4 players with the Ultimate Edition. People just logged on and there it was. Control Ultimate Edition. And then they were like, oops. Let's reverse that. So this thing that was absolutely impossible to do, they accidentally did.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So Control was not in control.
I feel like I want this to be some kind of mole from the inside, like a whistleblower.
It has to be. It really has to be. Someone must have. I honestly think someone was like really anti what they were doing, and they were just like, you know what? let's just do this. And they just did it.
I want that.
And
I
someone
so
found
want
out like,
that.
So yeah, but
Oh,
you still
no.
can't. So you still got to have to buy the Ultimate Edition. And I think what...
But we do know now which one it is, unable or unwilling.
Yes, it is very unwilling to do it. Which is, it's harsh. I mean, there is that thing though where this is the first time this has even been an option. You know,
Yeah.
when we upgrade a console to the next gen, normally there is that defined cutoff. But obviously Control wasn't a particularly massively selling game. So people that supported them back when it first came out, bought all the DLC, they can't just get the upgrade unless they buy the game, the Ultimate Edition, which is basically the same game with all the DLC. So it's just... you know, I get it. It's business at the end of the day, and they want to make the money from it.
It's that moany thing again.
It is that Mooney to buy the salads.
Okay, let's move on.
yes.
Star Wars Squadron.
Yes, Star Wars
Hold
Squadrons, which is a game that I really am interested in.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars Squadrons will support joysticks and throttles on PlayStation and Xbox. That's pretty
So
much all it is, really.
this is a mode where you can use hands-on throttle and stick, and it
Yeah.
basically gives more precise control on any of your X-wings or TIE fighters when you're in.
Yeah, so rather than use the
in the
controller,
game.
like, essentially I've added this so I can just pretty much say, so here's another reason why I want to get a yoke. Because I can use it in Flight Sim as well.
And they will, yes, you can use it in flight simulators, and they will be offering VR support
On PlayStation, it's
and
VR.
PC.
So that would just be amazing, having the proper setup. With all that
You know,
in VR.
I know that it's only a small story, but I think this is actually quite a...
The thing is, it's not meant to be a big story. The main focus of this game is the 4-on-4 dogfights. That's what it is. It's a squad battle game online.
Having that more precise control over your X-wings or your TIE fighters will be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in this, but I just don't, like you say, I don't know anyone else that plays games apart from you, and you don't do online gaming. So it's like, how often would I really get to play this?
I do, don't I?
Because it's not even like, oh, you can do a solo mission. It is squadrons.
Yeah.
So you just get teamed up with random people, and that's never as good.
No, because they're not as competitive as you and me, are they?
Yeah, but we'd need to find like 2 other people to be part of our squad.
Well, can we get Jen to be one of them?
Oof, do you think she
You know what? I could definitely get the boyf. The boyf would do it. Simply, if I said I'm going to trash your ass, his competitive instinct will kick in and go.
We're on the
"You're
same
it."
side.
But see, I fly better than you. He'd be like, "You're on, bitch."
Yeah, so it's not a big story. I just wanted to bring that up because I like the look of this game. I'm really torn though. It's like, what do I want it on? I'd rather have it on the Xbox because I probably would get the superior Xbox before the PlayStation. But obviously the VR support. But then if I had it in VR, I wouldn't be able to stream it at all because you can't stream in VR.
No,
because you can't read all the happy comments that people say.
Okay, move on. It's Nintendo next.
It is. We touched on this a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? About a Nintendo Switch revision, and they said it'll be 4K, and I was like, no, it won't be 4K. That's not.
Yes, it's going to be 4K.
But it is looking like a 4K Switch might be in the works for next year.
Yeah, I mean, this would be quite a step forward because the current model struggles with 1080 and the handheld is only 720. So I guess, yeah.
It's apparently Nintendo have told third-party developers, can you make sure all your future games that are coming up are 4K ready? And there's analysts sort of saying that orders have been made for things. So yeah, obviously we don't know anything else other than it's looking like it might be a 4K Switch, like a Switch Pro. But I still think this goes back to what I was saying. Last week we had the news on the patents for the standalone Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
I still think it might be some kind of like a non-switching Switch that's TV only.
Yeah, because when they moved their production out of China, They said there were going to be 3 models. There's the current model, the light version, which is an updated hardware, and then the pro version, which we've got very, very, very little info about.
Yeah.
So this is where we're going to sort of see if these rumours about a release before the year end is going to be likely or unlikely. I think it's going to be very unlikely. When the release will be, I don't know. But the financial statement as of the beginning of 2020 did say there was no plans for a new model, thinking probably 2021 at the earliest, but we'll have to see. As you say,
Nintendo,
it could be linked to this patent.
Nintendo are renowned for, no, there's no new model coming out, and then the next day they announce one, because they don't want to they don't want to eat. If they were to come out and say, in March next year we're going to be releasing the new 4K home system of the Switch, the Christmas sales would plummet.
Exactly.
So they don't want to say it until it's not too far away and the holidays are out the way. So, I mean, personally, if this is a 4K Switch, I think it will have. Just makes sense to have one that's TV only. Yeah. Because we got the light, and that's kind of gone. Look, just because it's called a Nintendo Switch, it doesn't have to switch. It's a family assistant, is what they want. Is what they keep calling these now. Yeah. So, yeah, and obviously you can cool the chips a lot better in a. And you don't have to. You can cool the chips in a standalone console well. You don't have to worry about battery life. And obviously, I know the Pro controller is expensive, so if they've got those cheaper, like the cheaper Joy-Cons that can come with it, to standalone ones, then yeah, job's a good one.
Job's a good one.
It is. You're not going to be able to see this, are you? I've got another secret story. Get your phone out quick. Watch it on the stream.
Hold on. I can't go that fast.
Yeah, you can.
You got a secret story? Has that broken like in the last hour while I was having my dinner?
12:30 today.
What happened?
It's not what's happened. It's what's been released in Japan.
What's been released in Japan?
Pokemon Air is a Pikachu you can ride.
No!
And it launches this November.
No!
It can hold up to 100 kilos in weight.
What?
And it's big enough for you to sit on or use as a cushion. I think basically it's kind of like a fit ball type thing, because you inflate it.
Oh, right, like a Swiss ball.
And yes, you do inflate it where the anus would be. There's the pictures.
God, don't ever say that word again, bestie. It's gross.
Where the bot is.
That's not any better.
It's just a picture of a pump like going into Pikachu's bum.
Pumping it up the ass, basically. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, but it looks really cool. And it's just like, there's a nice picture of some guy just like leaning on it with his phone.
Is this your Christmas present?
No, that's an Xbox Series X. If Pikachu rides aren't your thing, the Pokemon Air can also be used as something to lean on. Perfect for those times when your cushions aren't Pikachu shaped enough.
A Pikachu ball to lean on when you cushion. Right, okay.
It's not a ball, it's shaped like a Pikachu.
Is there a price on this?
7,500 yen, so that's around £55.
Holy moly. That's a lot for a bouncy Pikachu.
It's not bouncy, it's just a chair that you inflate.
An inflatable chair in the shape of Pikachu. Has it got the ears on it?
Yes. Like, I really want to see sit on it and you're like holding the ears.
Can you WhatsApp me a picture across now so I can just while we're on here?
Maybe if I knew where my phone was. There it is. I'll just take a picture of the screen.
Okay, yeah. Take a picture of the screen. Send it across to me.
Right, it's coming. Ready?
Yeah.
I'll give you a picture of him lounging on it in a bit.
I hear my notification going. That's a little bit wrong. Okay. So we've got father and daughter sitting on matching Pikachus. It's less a chair, more like a ride along, isn't it?
It's a riding Pikachu. or you can lean on it.
Yeah.
They can see it. I've got it up on the screen.
This is, little.
It's amazing.
He is leaning on it.
It is.
It does look a
He's
little
got
bit
his little
long.
mat that looks like the grass in his house, and he's just like lounging
Yeah.
back on his Pikachu.
He's texting whilst with his elbow on Pikachu. Pikachu looks like remarkably pleased about it as well, really.
He is. He's like well happy.
Dude is happy. Oh, I really enjoyed it when we watched the Pikachu movie, by the way.
Oh, what, Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, is there a sequel coming out?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I've not heard anything about it. I've got a Detective Pikachu now in my streams.
Have you really?
Yes, I've worked a way to put like animations in my stream, and I've got like a
I
dancing
haven't
Pikachu.
noticed that. When I popped into your stream the other day, I didn't see that.
Well, it's there.
I think I was busy giving you coins.
Yes, 10. No, they're not coins. They're stars.
Stars. Well, they turn into coins, don't they? But yeah, I gave you stars.
Yeah.
And as I said before, they weren't pity stars because you're rubbish at all.
I'm not rubbish. I'm above average.
But apparently, at least 75% of people think they're above average, which is statistically impossible. Being
Well,
a
I am.
mathematician, I can tell you that.
I'm just not consistent. That's the problem. I'm good, but I'm not consistent.
But yeah, hardly surprising, really.
So that was the news for today.
We had some
for this
fairly
week.
big stories in there, didn't we?
There was lots. There's nothing like massive. I really had to
Nothing
like
earth
struggle
shattering.
to get something Nintendo in there.
You shoehorn it in.
It's like, oh, I need some Nintendo stuff. It's all Xbox
Let's shoehorn an inflatable Pikachu in there.
and I just saw it and I was like, wow. Oh, I need to send you the picture of how to inflate it.
No, I don't want to see that. I never want to see
I'm
that.
going to send you that picture of how to inflate a Pikachu.
Are you WhatsApping this over to me now?
No, because I need to find it. Unless you need to fill time if I do. Quick, talk about stuff.
An inflatable Pikachu for 55. It's not even that big. You know, when you said about it, I was
Yeah.
kind of like, this is Swiss ball size, but it isn't Swiss ball size.
No. I don't even know if
isn't
it.
anywhere near as big as that.
I just imagine it's the same kind of material. That's all I sort of meant.
I want it to be that size, though. I want it to be large. This is child size.
It's life
I want it to
size.
be like,
It's life size. That's
No,
how
but
big
I
a
want it-
Pikachu would be.
I do want it to be bigger than that.
I can't find it. I'll need to look. I need to go on Nintendo onto the website where I got it from.
All right.
Right.
Well,
Do we have any questions?
we don't have any questions.
No. If anyone's watching, wants to ask us any questions or listening,
Yes,
then-
you can come and ask questions. You can come onto my Twitter, which is gamergirl_Miss Bree.
or you can just use,
GMRGRL
Or you can-
_Miss Bree.
or you can just use the hashtag Nintendo Live, which always looks like Nintendo Olive,
That's it.
but it isn't
does.
just Nintendo Live. Or you can leave a comment on the video and we'll answer it next week. And if you do want to catch up, if you missed any of this and want to hear it again, it stays up on YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify or iTunes. And if you think I don't have the fortitude to get through a whole hour episode, we now have a Ninqueso live clips channels where we edit up into little tiny bits where you can just listen
Snippets.
little tiny stories. So if there's like one story you want to listen to, it'll be there. If you're like, I don't care about inflatable Pikachus, I just want to know about Rose Squadron. You can
I
do
don't
that.
want to know where the air goes in an inflatable Pikachu. And I never want to hear Bestie say those words ever again. So wrap it up, Bestie.
So wrap it up. So, will a 4K Switch ever hit the market? Will the Pikachu smile ever disappear while you're inflating it? Find out these questions and many more. Same cheesy time, same cheesy channel.
Actual stories may vary.
See you later.
Say goodnight,